To show or hide the utility sprites, we copy the loop block in the Set All Sprites Visible function. Then, change the sprite kind to util. Next, let's create a variable to track whether the bridge is available. We'll name it isBridgeAvailable. This should be a Boolean variable. To set it up, drag a false value from the logic section. We also need another variable to act as a counter for toggling the bridge's availability. Let's name this variable bridgeCounter. Initially, we will set it to a random value between 20 and 80. Now, let's create a function named updateUtils. This function will be called like other update functions in the onGameUpdate every 200 milliseconds event. Every time we update the game, we should decrease the bridge counter by 1. That's changing it by -1. When the counter reaches 0, it's time to toggle the bridge's state. So in the if block, the condition is counter less than 0. Set the counter back to a random number, between 20 and 80. Next, incorporate an if-else block, where the condition is the isBridgeAvailable. To flip the bridge state, here we use the not operator. Back to the onStart event, when the game begins, we should set the second sprite in the listUtil to visible, corresponding to the initial state where isBridgeAvailable is false. Remember, the second sprite in the list is at index 1. Now, let's duplicate this block and place it in the updateUtils function. Depending on the state of the bridge, each branch in this function will need two visibility settings, one for the lowered bridge and the other for the raised bridge. Ensure to set the visibility correctly. With the introduction of the bridge, we need to modify the on right button pressed event. Add a branch to determine whether the car can cross the bridge or if it will be held back. In the original branch, where the condition was player location is less than length -1, change this to length -2. The last possible position will be handled by the new branch. This new branch's condition should be player location equals length -2. The scoring action will now be part of this new branch and will only execute when the bridge is available. Duplicate the block that toggles sprites' visibilities and changes the player location. We also need a branch to address the scenario when the bridge is unavailable. We'll use sound effects to signal to the player whether the car successfully moves right and scores, or fails to move due to the bridge being unavailable. Drag in a play sound until done block. For the scoring scenario, the zapped sound seems appropriate. Duplicate this block. And remember, choose the in background instead of the default until done option. We use the knock sound for bridge unavailable case. Review the event. Remove the if block as no longer necessary. The remaining setup appears to be in order, covering the normal case, the scoring case, and the blocked case. To add sound effects for when there are bombs falling on the screen, we'll create a counter to count the bombs during updates. First, create a new variable named bombCounter. At the start of the updateBombSet function, set this variable to 0. In the updateBombCall function, within the loop, whenever we process a visible bomb sprite, increment the bomb counter by 1. Before concluding the updateBombSet function, check if bomb counter is greater than 0. If it is, then play the sound effect, pew pew. We also want to play a sound when the car is hit and explodes. For this, we'll use the sound big crash. To organize the game updates more concisely, create a new function named updatePlane. Transfer all the code related to updating the plane into this function. Then, in the gameUpdate event, add a callUpdatePlane block. When the plane appears on the screen, we want the game to play a specific sound. Place a block to play sound in the branch where the plane's location reaches the right boundary of the screen. This branch is executed only once each fly-through. For this event, we'll use the sonar sound effect. Remember to remove the test code in the onStart event, which was used to test the bomb falling mechanism. There is another minor issue. If the car moves away from the starting position, our current code still allows it to return to the starting point, which is not affected by the bombs. To address this, simply modify the condition in the onLeft button pressed event. Change the condition from player location greater than 0 to greater than 1. Test it again, and the issue is resolved. The game is now complete, featuring key elements of the original handheld version. I hope you enjoyed integrating retro gaming concepts with the MakeCode Arcade platform. There are several potential features you can add, including separate cycles for the plane's flight and bombs falling, levels for increasing difficulty, restrict the plane from dropping 4 consecutive bombs across columns. As you can see on the screen, we have a modified version with additional features. You can explore both versions on GitHub, links are in the video description. Please give a thumbs up if you found this tutorial helpful, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.